Need to get yourself out of a reading slump? These 5 thrillers are going to do that for you, I promise. First up, we have to have some Frida McFadden in here. We've got Never Lie. This is by far my favourite book of hers ever. It's the only book I've ever read of hers that I feel like I haven't been able to guess what's going on. And the end of it was crazy. I didn't know what was happening and it just held up right until the end. Highly recommend. I've given this recommendation to so many people who are trying to get out of reading slumps and it's worked like a charm. Next up, this one's actually not released yet, but pre-order it if you haven't already. It's Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson. This comes out on the 28th of January, not long at all. This is one of my favorite books of 2025. I read it as an ARC and I just did not expect the reaction that I felt after this. I could not believe how much I was feeling, like the adrenaline, but also just questioning myself and my own ethics and morals. Like, what would I do in this situation? Think true crime podcast, and the main character is interviewing people who are confessing to crimes that they've committed. Next up, we've got The Perfect Marriage. This was the first book I read in 2024, and whilst the ending wasn't my favorite ever, I did not know it was coming, and also, this book took me from beginning to end in like 2 days. I could not put this book down. None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I feel like this is a classic. Like, if you haven't read thrillers before and you want to get into them, this is perfect. But if you're in a slump, just as perfect. If you want to listen to audiobooks, this has a great audiobook. This is actually the only book my husband read in 2024 because it was that good that him as a non-reader was able to finish it. Finally, I'm going to finish up on A Good Girl's Guide to Murder only because this is more of a mystery thriller and I loved this book and still think about it constantly. If you like series as well, this is a series. And I think the reason it's so good for getting you out of a reading slump is because it changes the format up. So you're not just reading a story, you're reading interviews, there's evidence. Like, you feel like you're a part of the detective work. I have read a lot of thrillers in my time, but those are definitely the ones that I feel like are just the most fast-paced, like gonna get you right out of that reading slump, and they're just easy to read.